Joel Rubin. He's also running for Congress in Maryland's 6th District. Joel, thanks for joining us. What do you make of this evidence that has been put out by Israel today? Does it meet your bar for proof that Hamas had a significant presence at this hospital?
Abby, it's great to be with you, and it certainly is making it clear that Hamas was endangering Palestinian civilians directly by embedding in hospitals, and the caches of weapons that are now being revealed should cause alarm for everyone who cares about human rights and cares about Palestinian lives. That why is Hamas embedding with military equipment inside hospitals? So I'm confident that we're going to see more discoveries. I'm confident, based upon what we are learning and what we've seen and how we've seen Hamas operate by stealing innocent civilians from southern Israel and burying them underground and hiding them as hostages. This is only the tip of the iceberg.
But we haven't seen, images that explicitly show. I mean, what Israel has said is there is a command and control center underneath the hospital. The U.S. says that that is true, but we just haven't seen that. Will Israel have to produce that kind of evidence?
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine, put yourself in the shoes of the Israeli soldiers and the military planners right now about how are they going to engage. They know that there are fighters underground. They know that this is where they embed. So entering those tunnels, going into the maze of hundreds of miles potentially of tunnel, that is very risky and dangerous. So you bet they're going to have evidence. They understand that the world is watching. They understand that validation of the claims must be met. But it's also very risky and it's very dangerous. And so that's why it's going to be patient and slow. But I'm confident that we're going to see evidence come out once this is done. But this will take time, and this is a very risky operation.
Yeah. As I'm sure you know, pro-Palestinian protests evacuated the DNC last night. They've also stopped traffic on the Bay Bridge. They're following President Biden around the country. In just a few minutes, I'm going to speak with one of the activists who was there at the DNC and is calling for a ceasefire. What do you say to other Democrats who are demanding an immediate ceasefire from Israel?
Well, Abby, I think an immediate ceasefire would be a gift to Hamas. A unilateral ceasefire without providing any response, where Hamas has to implement a ceasefire, where Hamas has to turn over the Israeli civilians who they've taken hostage, that's meaningless. It only means it gives time for Hamas to regroup. And for the performative kinds of protests that we saw last night at the DNC, I was on the National Mall on Tuesday when there were nearly 300,000 supporters of Israel peacefully marching, not really marching, just standing in unison, quietly listening to the speakers. That was the kind of demonstration of support for Israel. Clearly, there was an attempt to change the media narrative, and we saw that last night from a small group. But the American Jewish community stands firm behind the idea of ensuring that the security of Israel is real. In the United States, we're taking the right position to ensure that they have the time and space needed to protect their southern border. And I'm glad that President Biden is articulating a very strong point that we must ensure that Israel is protecting civilian lives. And he is pushing Israel on that. But all of that comes together. An immediate unilateral ceasefire would undermine that.
All right, Joel Rubin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Abby.